Hey everybody! Today we are going to be discussing about boring mouses. Nah, just kidding. Today we'll be discussing about many different mouses of different shapes and sizes. All these mouses have one thing in common, that they are all based around not stopping the blood circulation near the forearm. Unlike other mouses, which according to them stop your circulation, and today we'll figure out exactly how much of the statement is true, and not looking at the specs but looking more at the comfort aspects of these mouses. First off, we have this mouse. Let's unbox it. This is a rather weird shaped mouse compared to our normal mouses, which go like that. You have to hold it like that, so your wrist doesn't have to twist like that. This mouse is comfortable, and there are two buttons over here, and the scrolling option over here, and clicking over here. This also has an RGB effect around this place. The mouse is rather comfortable, but when you think about it, there's a space between the mouse base and the wrist itself, so it's not that comfortable. This is one of the negative of the mouses, but overall, it's really comfortable. Now let's unbox the second mouse on the list. This mouse is rather stylish. Instead of going like this, it goes straight. This mouse, compared to the last mouse, has a place for your wrist to rest. There are two buttons over here and scrolling button over here. Unlike the last mouse, it doesn't have any RGB lighting effects. This overall is quite comfortable, a little bit more than the last mouse. Let's start unboxing the third mouse on the list. This mouse, unlike the other mouse, is a bit differently shaped. It has the cursor over here and two clicking buttons over here. You can move it like this, and it also comes with a wrist rest, which you can just connect by popping it on. This is comfortable and also has a position to place your wrist. You can move it around like this. It is a little bit more comfortable than the last mouse because it didn't have the wrist rest and was positioned a bit differently. But we'll compare it in detail at the end. Let's get into the last mouse for today. This is the mouse itself, and just like the previous mouse, it also comes with a detachable wrist rest. The wrist rest has a bit of a grip over here, but it actually might get painful when you keep your wrist constantly on this. You can just pop it on like that. And this is also really comfortable, and it has a DPI shift at the top. You can scroll from here and two buttons over here. Much like the last mouse, this is also similar. But there's some design differences, like the finger placement and the curve. These two mouses are really close, but the main difference comes over here at the texture. The texture, although trying to improve the grip, isn't very nice because it's hard and rigid. When you place your hand for too long like this, there's the print of the texture on your hand, and it doesn't feel really good. The other thing is also that this is a more closed shape, unlike this, in which you have free space to move your fingers around. So the winner in between these two similar mouses is this. Now we'll be comparing these two mouses against each other because they're very similar. They both can be grabbed on like this. and it also has a really cool texture around it, and this one looks really cool. But this one has a RGB light effect on it, which also looks really cool. The main problem which I had with this mouse was the distance from your fingers to the surface pad isn't very great. That's why your fingers get stuck at the bottom of the mouse and increases friction, not allowing you to move properly, which is not beneficial for gaming and other activities. So this mouse is clearly the winner, despite having a small space between them, which makes it a bit uncomfortable. Now we'll be comparing these two mouses. This mouse, although is very comfortable, it has a giant gap between the mouse itself and the base, which makes it a bit uncomfortable. And when you have to move the scrolling thing, it's also quite uncomfortable because you have to bend your middle finger back quite a bit, which isn't comfortable. Whereas in this, you have all the space you need to operate. So the conclusion is that this mouse is clearly the winner. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.